I wonder if Helly Tống still remembers a younger version of Tống Khánh Linh who is still figuring out life before, becoming the strong, independent woman that you are today. So, what was it like in that young and new time for you? And I also heard of a story where you quit university very soon after you started. So, can you tell me a little bit about that time period?
I was studying in Australia, Sydney, when I was 17, I remember. And then just almost a years, I decided to go back in Vietnam. I think I quit because I didn't, I didn't tell my parents no that I sneaked to go back. But that decision happened when I think about, because decision when I study abroad is not mine, from my parents. And when I study in Australia, I feel depressed a lot, and sometimes feel really sad and think really bad. And I feel like if I'm not coming back to Vietnam, maybe I'm not the person who I am today. So I feel lucky that I make it, but I don't, convince everyone to do the same.
Yeah.
Because I still want to get back to school and study, continue study. And when you mentioned it about like how my young version when I was young, I honestly not really remember, because so that's why I wish that I have a diary. Yeah, because the diary can keep all the things that suffered when I was young, but I didn't have. But somehow for now, a major person, I write a diary a lot. But I think it's still the same, the person inside. I'm still a curiosity person. I love to, somehow always looking for the space in the school, and to observation everything happen. Like I like to watching people talking together, chatting, and playing something, like even playing gym and basketball, for example, because I was in the basketball team in the school too.
Wow.
Yeah, and even now I'm not really remember much things, but I feel like still the same persons. Like I was very independent person, because my mom was not too close to me when I was young, so I have to do everything by myself. So I think because of that, I became the person right now. Like I try to do, break everything, and I dare to do everything. Yeah.
So was it difficult when you started to break the mold? I think especially since we are Asian children, there are certain expectations placed upon us. Well,
your parents. I didn't feel so difficult for me, because I told you that I was really independent when I was young. Like even I have to cook for myself if there is no person in the house. So when I study about what is difficult for me, like how to adapt with the new culture, the new person who I live with. But the most difficult time for me that when I start with the existence and question like, who am I and why am I here? Because I feel, you know the feeling when you get lost. But when I decide to get back to Vietnam, I think that's happened, the answer. And I find out that it doesn't matter what is your answer. I found it's matter for me when you get the right question at the right time. Because if everything happened at the right time, things get to start in the perfect way.
So for our final question of the day, I would like to ask if you ever regret not getting a university education. And if you could go back to have a university education, what would you choose to learn?
Yeah, I love that question. I do. I did regret sometimes. In the journey when you do businesses and you do so many fields, you find out like so many smart persons around you, especially in sustainability fields that I work with. And they could be, master of something, and I feel like, oh, I wish to get back to school to study more, So perhaps we regret about those things, but those things is happening in the past, and now we live in the present. And I feel like, okay, why we can, set the goals in the future and then continue studying. And when I was in university, I studied business management, but I was thinking about switching to interior designer.
Oh.
But that's what 8 years ago. But for now, I think about if I study the other subject, I think I can study education in architecture. Yeah.
That's very interesting. I myself am still in school. I think I've kind of guessed at my major because I'm in a liberal arts education. So I've chosen to double major. I'm taking arts and media and also social sciences. But I think that is kind of like the umbrella terms for education and also interior designing arts.
Right.
So I genuinely am very inspired by all that you've shared today. And thank you so much for joining IELTS Face-Off. It's been my personal honor to have you here with us. And also, I believe that Helly has continuously inspired the youth and the young people of today's social media scape and also a social scape in general, because she genuinely believes in what she does and she internalizes it until it becomes a part of you and continues to spread the good values that you believe in that way. And I think all of us can take a lesson in that.